And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. Second King reporting live from the Cheonryung Palace, and we are breaking this incredible news right now. Now, I have been to North Korea. I have met Kim Jong-un, probably one of the few people in the Western world that actually met him.
Not too many, that's right.
You know, even the president has not met Kim Jong-un. But it was brief, and of course, I was there because my father, Reverend Moon, sent me there on his behalf. It's a very interesting relationship that we've had with North Korea because obviously my father fled North Korea because of communism and etc. But in the end, he fought against communism his whole life, initiated anti-communist movements across the globe, Washington Times, you name it, etc. But it's weird. It's like the North Koreans always had this fascination with him because he became so big internationally, and he was, born in North Korea. So they always had this fascination. They kind of saw him as this interesting figure that was from there, but became so worldwide renowned. And of course, then, and even though he was anti-communist, even though he was anti their ideology, Chuche ideology, all that kind of thing, they still respected him. Even though they wanted to mount his head on the wall, but they still respect him in that respect. And so I'm actually one of the few people that actually crossed the 38th parallel in a car, both with the South Korean government's permission and the North Korean government's permission. And
that takes special permission, yes, for both sides.
And the U.S. as well. The U.S. had to sign off on that as well. And on my father's bidding, I went. I didn't want to go, but I was the international president. I'm his heir successor, etc. So I had to do it, and I just did my job, go in there, and go there. And that was at the death of Kim Jong-il.
Yes.
Kim Jong-il. So probably one of the very few Americans that actually not only went into North Korea and but also met Kim Jong-un, and also met the top leader, one of the top leaders there. Anyways, I don't know. I was still a young pastor when my daddy gave me all that responsibility and put it on my table. But in any case, we have top breaking news. This is not even covered in the Western world at this point. And it is the news that President Trump has already started bombing North Korea. Breaking, incredible bombshell, literally bombshell news. And this is coming out of South Korea right now, a Seoul National University, which is the top university, it's like the Harvard of Korea. South Korea has released this on his YouTube channel. Go ahead, play this, and we'll talk about it as we play it. And our tech team will bring this up right now.
So if you go to the very beginning, right there at the very beginning of the video that you're looking at now, he's talking about the earthquakes that have been reported in North Korea, a few locations in North Korea, but especially around the area in northeast called the
Punggye-ri region.
North Korea has its nuclear testing facility, and he's asking: Are these earthquakes being caused naturally, or are they man-made earthquakes? In other words, are they the kind of earthquakes that you expect from a bombing, from a conventional bombs? He says the earthquakes are not large enough to be caused from a nuclear strike, but he is saying that they look to him like man-made, and he speculates that they are being caused by bombings. And later on in the video, he correlates these earthquakes with the training missions, so-called, by U.S. B-1B bombers going across the northern limit line, and according to the official story, going close to North Korea, but staying within international airspace. But he's saying, no, I don't think so. I think they're actually bombing North Korea.
So they happen to be happening right when the B-1B bombers are flying around, doing their exercises, and boom, 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 you see all these seismic shakings. And then, of course, he's doing the analysis, and he showed the graphs right there, where he's saying, hey, these are not earthquakes. These are man-made tremors.
Yeah, seismic disturbances or whatever.
Seismic disturbances, whatever they're called.
So the official word we've been getting is that the North Koreans have been testing so much at the Punggye-ri that the ground has become destabilized.
But that's interesting. But that's weird because you just broke down on a month-by-month basis. Could you go back one more time, Tim?
Yeah. Okay.
How frequent
Yeah.
North Korea this year
So,
on a month-by-month basis has been
I'm
testing.
looking at a CNN thing here where they've listed the North Korean missile strikes this year, missile launches this year. He said CNN says that North Korea has fired 22 missiles during 15 tests since February, and there was one on the first one this year was on February 12th. That was the only one in February, but then less than a month later, on March 6th, there was the next one, and then March 22nd, again, less than a month. And then April 5th, less than a month. And then 16th April, 29th of April, so just a week or so, or 10 days or so apart. And the next one after that, in May, was May 14th, so a couple of weeks or so after. And then May 21st, a week later. And then 8 days later on May 29th. And then about 10 days later on June 8th. And then less than a month later on July 4th, and then a couple of weeks later on July 28th, and then about a month later on August 26th, and then 3 days later on August 29th, and then about 3 weeks or so, almost a month later on September 15th. So all these launches have been occurred. The frequency has been less than a month. Less than a month.
Every month they've been occurring.
Once or twice or 3 times a month. But we haven't had one now in 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
More than a month.
That would be over a month.
Yes. So, what happened?
What happened? North Korea is shockingly quiet.
Has someone gone in and bombed their facilities so that they can't launch? Or is there another reason?
Well, it's interesting. Also, this Seoul National University professor is saying that the U.S. Special Forces also entered in.
Yes. Well, he says yes that when the B-1B bombers went, there was another type of aircraft that went across the northern limit line as well, and this is the type of aircraft that he says is used to insert special forces.
And that would, of course, coincide with Kim Jong-un claiming just a couple of weeks ago that special forces are trying to kill him.
Right. and later on in the video, he also talks about nuclear-powered U.S. submarines that have been visiting South Korean ports recently, and he looks at the structures that are attached to those submarines. It says those structures are used also for inserting special forces into enemy territory.
This is humongous breaking news. I mean, this is unbelievable.
So he's saying that there's bombing going on, and U.S. special forces are on the ground in North Korea, assisting the bombing and doing other things, presumably.
Look at that, over 2 hours long. But to save everybody from watching it, and especially you have to be a native speaker as well to understand what he's saying.
So he is
wow.
So he is a news analyst for this particular web-based news source.
That is unbelievable, unprecedented. Nobody in the Western media is covering this right now. We're getting this breaking off the ground right now. He just when did he post his video up? Just a couple of days ago. And now it's starting to circulate around the Korean circles. But we're getting this straight out of South Korea, folks. And you're hearing this first. Get this out to everybody you know, because this is an interesting theory that he's putting forth. But he's correlating with different evidence, including the seismic tremors that they're getting, including the regions where these tremors are occurring, including the timing with the correlation of the B-1 bombers, you name it. And you see him break this down for about 30 minutes in this presentation, but this is a tremendous, of course, it's speculation. Nothing else has been confirmed, but this is a very interesting speculation that is coming out of South Korea right now. They believe, some people now believe in South Korea, that the U.S. has already began tactical strikes on North Korea and sent in Green Berets, U.S. Special Forces, you name it, to take out the leadership there. And of course, we have seen a very shockingly or fearfully silent North Korea for the last 5 weeks. Very interesting speculations. It'll have to be seen what exactly can be confirmed, but this is absolutely bombshell breaking news. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
There's never been a moment I was not held inside your